Ozo was not just a nurse but also an unlicensed fertility aide, a role he had taken on to assist his neighbors and villagers. In a beautiful village, there lived a couple named Ozo and Ewe, whose story would be remembered with both admiration and sorrow for generations to come. Ozo and Ewe were well known in the community. Ozo was a village dedicated nurse, known for his tireless work and unwavering kindness, while Ewe, his wife, was a woman of remarkable grace and resilience. Deeply loved by her family and neighbors, Ozo was a responsible man. He was tall and handsome. He has fear of God, which made both men and women in the community to admire him. Ozo was so dedicated to his family and his profession. The couples had a large family. They were blessed with 11 children. Each child was a cherished gift, and Ewe devoted herself to their care with all the love in her heart. However, it was Ozo's role in the village that became the source of a growing, unspoken tension within their household. Ozo was loved by all due to kind and generous hearts. Villagers always approach him for help. Some women bring their children for treatment without making payment. Obinago was a small community where a lot of men were facing infertility problem. It was a challenge for some couples. Over the years, Ozo was helping some men in the village to impregnate their wives without the knowledge of his wife. Most men came to beg him to assist them to impregnate their wife because of how fertile he was. Also kept doing this for a very long time. He believed that he was offering a help to his fellow men. On the other hand, Ozo was so serious and dedicated to his job. He hardly had time with his wife. His medical knowledge and compassionate approach carrying him the trust and gratitude of many. His action was seen as an act of kindness, but they carried a deeper emotional weight for his wife. Ewe was initially supportive of Ozo's efforts, understanding that his work was driven by a genuine desire to help others. However, as time passed, she began to struggle with feelings of jealousy and insecurity. One day, Ewe noticed that one wife of Chief Egu always visited their house. At the beginning, she thought that the woman comes to take treatment. But as time goes on, she noticed some suspicious movements with her husband, and she began to ask her husband questions. But also lied to her that the woman come for treatment. Chief Egu was a noble chief in the village who had a fertility issue. He begged Ozo to help to impregnate his wife because he cannot be able to pregnant his wife. While all this was going on, Ewe were not aware of this information until the coming of Chief Egu's wife in their house. But she tried to comprehend the whole thing that was going on, but she couldn't place her hand in what was going on. As time passed, she began to struggle with feelings of jealousy. Each time Ozo assisted another couple, Ewe felt a pang of betrayal. Her emotion compounded by her own growing isolation and the physical demand of raising 11 children. Despite her best efforts to remain composed, Ewe's internal struggle was evident. She grappled with the realization that while Ozo was giving the gift of life to others, while their own relationship was slowly eroding under the strain. One day, one of Ewe's co-wives came to visit Ewe in the house. Her name was Ekemma. Ewi called Ekemma. "How are you doing?" "I'm fine, my co-wife," Ewi said. "Please, I came to leak a secret to you, but I want you to keep it as a secret to yourself," said Ekemma. "Your husband also is helping some women in this village to get them pregnant with the permission of their husband," said Ekemma. When Ewi heard this, she was shocked and asked Ekemma, "Ekemma, my co-wife, are you sure of what you are telling me?" said Ewi. Ekemma proceed. "I am very sure. I came to inform you. Everyone in this village are aware of this information, but I noticed that you are not aware," said Ekemma, and she left. Ewi was heartbroken. She thought the reason why Chief Ego's wife constant visits in their house, the jealousy that has seemed became an ever-present shadow over her life. As time was going, also deeply immersed in his work, failed to notice the gradual deterioration of their relationship and the emotional toll it was taking on Ewi. As months passed by, Ewi became increasingly disheartened. Her feelings of inadequacy and loneliness reached a peak, and it became clear that her emotional state was affecting her health. Nevertheless, she remained devoted to her children, striving to be the loving mother they needed, while struggling silently with her own confusion. One day, out of anger and jealousy and quest for attention from Ozo, she took in for the 12th time just to deprive her husband from seeing other women. Her children was filled with joy that their mother, Ewi, will welcome another baby in the family. But Ewi was overwhelmed by the prospects of managing another child, especially given her emotional states. The prospect of delivering their 12th child while dealing with internal conflicts was a heavy burden. The time of the birth approached and Ewi went into labor. Also, who had continued his work helping other families even during this period, was supportive yet distant, preoccupied with his responsibility. Ewi was admitted to the village hospital, a modest facility with a dedicated staff but limited resources. As Ewi's labor progressed, complications arose. The stress of her emotional state, combined with physical demand of childbirth, created a precarious situation. The village's small hospital team worked diligently, but the complication proved severe. Despite their best efforts, Ewi died of bleeding, and her death was a news throughout the whole village. In her final moments, Ewi thoughts were a thunderous mix of fear, love and sorrow. She was surrounded by her family and also her husband, devastated by the gravity of the situation, held her hand, trying to offer comfort in the middle of disorder. Ewi finally wish was to ensure the well-being of her children, her greatest legacy. However, Ewi passed away, giving birth to the 12th child, a daughter who was born with the same spirit of hope and love that defined her mother. Her children and her husband mourned the loss of Ewi, recognizing her as a pillar of strength and love who has sacrificed so much for her family and the community. Ozo was left to navigate the aftermath of Ewi's death, grappling with the grief of losing his beloved wife and the weight of raising their 11 children, while caring for the newborn. The villagers reassembled around him, offering support and compassion as he faced the challenging tasks of honoring his memory and filling his role as both a father and a caregiver. Also regretted his action. He cried deeply for losing his beloved wife in the process of making family for others, As time passed, Ozo's children grew up, and their father, Ozo, narrated the story of what killed their mother and the reason she took in for the 12th time, and they all cried and mourned their beloved mother. Trust you find this story very interesting. What moral lesson do you learn from this story? Please subscribe to my channel at African Tales by Ifenkili. Like and share with family and friends. Turn on your notification buttons and stay tuned for more interesting and mind-blowing story coming your way next time. Remain blessed. Bye.